All right, welcome back to. I'm Wayne here with Fruits and Berries, a small Tennessean homestead, and I'm continuing on this video here to share now with what we're planning to do here this coming spring and into the summer months here on our little homestead here. And so I'm once again, as you can tell, I'm still in our back of our property. It's sort of windy out here. If there is a wind noise on this, um, just so you know, I do have a wireless mic that I can wear and plug in to either the smartphone that I'm videotaping with or my Sony camera, video camera that I have that I've used in the past to do a lot of video recordings. So since I don't have some type of cover to put over the mic or whatever, and I don't have the electronic microphone on my physical being, I'm hoping that even though it's windy out today, it's in the 50s right at the moment. Actually, it's really nice out here. I do have the sweater on because the winds are blowing about 20 miles plus an hour. And so the wind chill factor is down a little bit, of course. So that's what's going on. And you probably noticed that the dogs are here. Let me see here. I'm going to move this around. Let's see. Yeah, they're off to the side there. And they're making a bunch of ruckus noise here. I just cannot believe how beautiful it is out here. In the background is the Smoky Mountains. They look like they're in a distance, but believe it or not, like within 15 to 20 minutes, I'm in the mountains. That's how close we live to them. So, anyway, okay. So, I have to dig up many of the fruit trees that I've planted. I'm going to bring this over here. I just have it on a gimbal here, so it's a slow process. But that's the new house that one time we thought we were going to buy that house. I'm glad we didn't. But our neighbors are really awesome. So we're grateful for them. They're putting up a fence right next to us. That's okay. But along that wooden fence is where I had planted two fruiting Barclay pear trees. I have three peach trees, and I've got a nectarine tree, and I've got a two cherry trees also there. Besides the blackberry bushes, blueberry bushes, and blackberry, blueberries. I don't think I have any raspberries on that side of the property. Now going over here on this side of the property, I've got let's see, a Granny Smith apple, a black apple, and two Golden Delicious apple trees at the far end. And I have let's see, I have two elderberry bushes. I'm hoping that will do get stronger and grow this year. I planted them last year. And I've got blackberries and raspberries and blueberries all planted along the side of that wooden fence area there. If everything was to be perfect and we don't have stupid late frost that would kill all the blossoms and everything, it's conceivable that we could have a wonderful spring and summer harvest with all the blackberries and blueberries and raspberries. And I transplanted the fig trees towards the front because the dogs love to lift their legs and do something on them. Can't have that. The excuse me, the one video that I did on that I just recently uploaded on our brand new Rumble thing, and I think I did the same thing on my YouTube channel. I harvested all the pumpkin seeds out of that. I've dried them. I'm gonna they're in a bowl on our kitchen counter at the moment. I'm gonna put them in a paper envelope and puncture some holes in the envelope and then stick them in the refrigerator for the next 2 or 3 months, and just leave them at the back end of the refrigerator. That's what they say to do. It gives that, it's sort of a false whatever to the pumpkin seeds, thinking that it's winter. So there's nothing that they're going to be able to do. And then when I do take them out, I will individually put in some miniature planting things for seedlings, and hopefully grow out some Cinderella pumpkin plants. There is a couple farmer markets right. One is like 10 minutes away from our front door, and they'll start up probably in May. And there's a bigger farmers market scenario in Limestone, Tennessee, and that's about a good 20-25 minutes from here. They're not that far. So that's what's going on there. So I have to dig up the fruit trees where the peaches are and the pears are. At least I want to hopefully dig up most of them and retransplant them. See that back there, that back fence at the far end of our property? Behind that fence right there is another almost 10 feet. That's part of our property also. Those pine trees right behind me, they're on our property also. And then behind those pine trees right there is about 120 acres of Black Angus cows that love to visit us here on the homestead. They go right up to our back fence there, and they provide a lot of entertainment. You would think, oh my gosh, the cows that come right up to your backyard, and don't you get flies and everything? We've lived here for over 2 years. That's never been an issue. Hardly see any flies. Besides this patio that I'm sitting under here right now, it's got fans, incredible lighting. Also on this patio that I'm sitting on right now, I did a YouTube video a while back showing how I trellised all around the side of the back house here and all around the back patio here with grapevines. So I've got let me see, what's it called? Anyway, I have 2 grape muscadines. Sheesh, brain fart there. I have a muscadine plant that I replanted at the far end of the house on that side, okay? And then on this side of the house at the far end, I've planted another muscadine plant. I'm really excited because they grow really well here in northeastern Tennessee. And then I redirected all the vines to go up onto the trellis this last year when I built the trellis going around the eaves of the house. And by the way, I used tomato plant grow outs, the metal things that I got them from Lowe's, and then I took them apart, and then I created this incredible trellis. I might do another video, especially this spring when everything starts to leaf out. I am believing for a harvest like we've never known before since we've been here with grapes this year, and especially with the muscadines. Wow, I'm so excited about that. I haven't ever fertilized any of our trees or plants yet. What I have discovered here in Tennessee is that the soil, even though it's clay, we had clay soil in Texas, but not like this clay soil. So when it does get hot here, it will be like cement. It's hard to dig or whatever. But this is the time. Like what's today? The 11th of February. So my wife Ida has a couple connections where she works at, some teenagers, or they're either in their late teens or early 20s. Anyway, they're going to help me digging because at the end of January, I was up there behind that wooden fence, trimming the lower branches on all those pine trees. And this one, can I get this one here? And you see, I raised the whole thing up, and because I want to be able to see the mountains, okay? And then I did the same thing back there. And there is a gate at the back there, so you can open the gate and walk out and go right next to the cow pasture. So anyway, I want to replant a lot of the fruit trees behind that. And you're probably saying, why? Well, why is because right here all right, next to my face, and you see the green grass area. That all of this is a leach field. And when I say leach field, our septic tank is in the front of the house, but the builder of this home also put a pump to the septic tank in the front on the side of the house. And he created, see, this is a hill going up. So you sort of like have to hike up to be able to get to the flat surface at the top there. But all of this here, you know, behind my head is a leach field. And so all the poop and everything that's in our house that's generated, soapy water, all that, it goes to the septic tank at the front of the house. And then the pump enacts itself, and it pumps it up, all the way up, and then it allows it to drain out across this way. Okay? And stupid, well, no, I'm not going to say stupid me. I just said stupid me. Because of my excitement to plant and to recreate everything I had in Texas when we moved here to Tennessee, because I planted well over 30 plus trees involving nut trees and fruit trees, and besides all the berry bushes on top of that. And I did all that within a year and a half after we got here. I mean, I just slam dunked and spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I should have saved all the receipts, but a massive investment in trees that I planted. And I planted them. I knew there was supposedly a leach field, which there is, but at that time the realtor didn't even know where it was located. We've since learned where it's located. And so one neighbor in particular made the comment that she would never want to bite into one of our peaches because she'd be scrumptiously juicy, poopy peach, because the roots would go into the leach field and suck up all the fecal stuff and all the stuff that the septic tank has in it. I don't blame her. Okay, I understand that, but I also got in touch with the person that drained our septic tanks. We actually went through Brooder, and last summer spent quite a bit of money, almost $2,000, to service and to locate and to know exactly where everything was located, since the realtor that sold us this home never did her job correctly. And so we got all that. We spent the money to be able to discover all of this. And that guy that services Greene County area here in the Greenville, Tusculum area where I live, said that he's been in this business for over 40 years. He's he's up there in age a little bit, but very physically active with it mentally, and still heads up the whole Rooter outlet thing here in Greenville. And he says, Wayne, you have nothing to worry about. If you leave your fruit trees where they are at, the roots, almost every fruit tree, they don't go down deep. They go more towards the surface, and the roots will only go as far as the branches on top of the tree spread out. So if you trim your trees so they're just a decent size and they're not humongously wide, 20 feet wide or whatever, so like if you only allow like a 6 foot or 10 foot reach width wise, that's as far as the roots are going to ever go. And he says they will not go into your leach field. Your leach field's 2 to 3 feet below the surface, and the roots are going to be above that, and nothing to worry about. But it still concerns me, and I don't need any negativity from our next door neighbors or anything like that. So if I can pull it off, that's why I am going to dig up some of these trees and redirect them. And now's the time to do it before spring gets here, before they start budding and blooming and all that wonderful stuff. I'm hoping to salvage every single one of them. But I got to be careful because I wrecked my knee out this last first part of February, and for 3 weeks I could hardly walk. And that's when I was doing those trees there. So I twisted my left knee. I did something, and it was extremely painful. So that is what is sort of happening here. So my game plan right now is to hopefully within this next week, weather permitting. Today is awesome. I wish I could do it today, but I'm also in preparation to receiving in the next week or so 50 quail eggs from My Shire Farms in Ohio, and I already bought my Nutri-Right 360 uh, incubator. I probably This is my first time ever doing, trying to hatch eggs and everything. So if it's successful, well, the thing is paid for already, so I'm not going to worry about it. But if we really start to expand our meat and egg scenario here on the homestead, I'll probably invest later, not now, maybe next year or down the road, into a bigger, more professional type of incubator that can do 100 to 200 quail eggs at a time. Right now, this Nutri-Right 360 that I got hopefully will do over 40 eggs, and they probably won't all hatch, but if I could get 80% or so hatchable out of it, I'll be very happy. And I also ordered the starter kit with hatching times, which includes a brooder. So it will have a heater in it, a light in it, for when the baby chicks do hatch. I can put them on what they call a brooder, and that's supposedly arriving tomorrow, which is the 12th of February. And then there's a grow out cage that I'm going to build on top of the brooder from Hatching Times. And from my understanding, it also has the thing underneath the grow out, so when the chicks do get 6 weeks to 8 weeks and they start laying eggs, that's how quickly they grow. The eggs will just roll right out. And I'll probably end up having to buy more cages as we want to expand our egg production. I want to be NPIP certified. That's with the agricultural department, especially if you're going to be selling in farmer markets and stuff. I got a lot of stuff that I got up my sleeve that I would like to do, and so a lot of things are happening here. So this is my update, and hopefully you'll understand. And I hope that I don't offend anybody. I just appreciate every one of you that are subscribed to our YouTube channel, and hopefully you'll join me on our Rumble channel as I begin the process of merging all current and future updates over there for freedom of expression, but just to have the freedom to do everything that I do on the YouTube and beyond YouTube. So I'm really excited about that. So I hope you'll follow me over on Rumble as we continue to make this adventure. And one last comment I want to make here is that we are, I'm in Tennessee, and I'm at the northeastern part of Tennessee, which is near the state of Virginia and the state of North Carolina. I can be in North Carolina and cross the border into North Carolina within 15 minutes driving commute from where I live. That's how close Asheville and the Asheville airport and everything in North Carolina is within an hour and a half commute from where I live. So anyway, and I know a lot of incredible people on YouTube that do homesteading live in North Carolina, and it's really neat to be close to where they're all at also. But one of the things that one of the videos that I did in Texas, this was back in, I can't remember when it was, 2015 or thereabouts. I did a whole thing on above ground storm shelter. That has absolutely gone ballistic. That has gotten tens of thousands of views and comments and so on and so forth. People didn't like the music that I added. I did it on the spur of the moment, and the company that we bought our above ground storm shelter asked if they could put it on their website also, and I gave them that permission. I wish I could have gotten a little bit of a kickback, you know, with all the people that probably have purchased storm shelters above ground and below ground with that company. But anyway, I don't have a storm shelter here in Tennessee. That was way back in 2015, I believe. And I appreciate people actually joining my YouTube channel here, but I'm not involved anymore, you know, in Texas with storm shelters. Okay, but I do once in a great while reflect back to try to answer any questions, because I remember the whole scenario with my then alive mother. She has since in 2017 has passed on, but because of her, it scared the living daylights out of me, and that's why we did above ground. We couldn't do below ground because it's impossible to lift my mother, who was very kyphotic, had brittle bone disease. And if me being 6'2" and over 170 pounds as I am, plus I'd probably crunch her trying to lift her to try to get her down underground, you know, in case of a tornado. But I stand behind everything that I said in that video, and I believe it. And even if you don't want to believe it, you might as well believe it, because it could withstand up to a category 5. And we had a category 4 that we almost got slam dunked shortly before we had that installed. And it was by the grace of God, and it was a miracle that that tornado just made from mineral wells, it just like did a 90-degree turn just as they hit New Fairview, where we lived. And right when it hit New Fairview, it touched down. It was coming right at our house, and I can remember my son and all of us were just praying for our lives, and because we were the only people there. Everybody else had fled and went to the local Walmart to seek protection. Nobody at that time had any type of storm shelter where we then lived. And I knew we were goners, but we weren't because somehow that thing turned and it went towards Denton, and the rest is history. But because of that, that's why we decided to invest about $11,000 at that time and paid cash for it, and just had that thing installed. So I'm very happy to still know that people are watching it. I appreciate all of you that do watch it. I highly recommend that company. Just watch that video again. Everything's on it for you to know. Just contact them there in Texas if you're in the Texas area. But I don't have that here in Tennessee, and I'm involved with homesteading. I'm involved with fruit trees and berry bushes, and soon to be meat and eggs. So we're excited, especially since all the supermarkets are getting empty shelves where I'm at. I don't know about where you're at, but that's all part of the scheme of what the Biden administration is trying to do to put us in a devastating thing. So I want to be independent, self-sufficient, and I hope you do too. And so thanks again for watching Fruits and Berries, a small Tennessean homestead, and God bless, okay? And give me your comments. You know, I can accept negativity if you want. If you're going to do that, I'll accept it. But if it gets really bad, I might delete it. But anyway, I'm excited to see with what God's doing in our family and with what's happening this coming spring and summer here on the small Tennessean Fruits and Berries homestead. God bless and take care, okay?